Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Two Guys Talking About Lettuce. My name is Greg Benson.
And I'm Craig Benzine.
Craig, it is so great to see you. Here we are. It's the week right after Thanksgiving. Did you have a nice Thanksgiving?
It was great. I had a really great time. I cooked meal for China.
Okay.
And the rest of my family. My parents
and
were there.
your daughter?
Jaspy.
Jaspy, or your daughter Jaspy? It's weird. I don't remember her name being like that. But you know what? They say that big holidays kind of change people. And I will say this: your beard looks different to me. Like it's
I ate so much turkey, it forced the hair out of my face faster.
That's weird. And then what's left? You have like a little more gray than you used to have. I mean, it's a different kind of look for you. But it was
stressful.
I want to say you look good though. You look really good.
Yeah, thank you.
And
I bought a new hat.
You've got a new hat. You covered up your bald head with your hat, which is really good.
I also replaced the skin on my face with the skin of another person.
Oh, now that,
I'm not sure if you noticed.
I feel like that's weird, but I wasn't going to say anything, but I did notice that you look a little bit different.
Yeah.
But
it's still me. It's still me, Craig Benzine. Check out my channel on YouTube, Wheezy Waiter.
Oh my God, it's great.
I beat all the Guinness Books of World Records.
That's terrific. That's true.
Yep.
You must drink a lot of Guinness.
Yep.
You do. I will say this: you look slightly, and I don't mean this is just for the people who are listening. The people who are watching probably have realized that something's up here. But the people listening, they're clueless. They're just like, "Oh, Craig's hilarious this episode. This is Craig's funniest episode." You know. which I think might be the title of this one, but to clue you guys in who are listening, this is actually Craig Benzine has showed up with Aaron Yanda's face.
Yes,
Aaron Yanda of Blame Society Films on YouTube and Game Society Pimps on YouTube and Twitch. Check them out. I believe I went over there once.
And try your own Thanksgiving face swap. Next year.
That's one of my favorite things about Thanksgiving is the face swap.
Mm-hmm.
I remember one of my favorite jokes about Thanksgiving was someone said, "You know why no one has sex on Thanksgiving?
Why?
All the coats are on the bed."
But you can fuck the coats.
Oh, I never really thought about fucking a coat.
Yeah.
Man. Okay. All right. You know what? As soon as we're done with this recording, I'm going to go try that. Yeah. Because there's this one coat I've got, and every once in a while I can tell it's checking me out. You know, like this coat is interested. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And before I was just like, back off, coat. You know, there's nothing we can do about this. But now, I mean, you've sort of opened the gates.
It's that coat that leers at you. You can tell. It's got that.
It's a creepy coat. It's a pretty creepy coat. I'm too bright. I'm gonna make myself a little darker to try to match your darkness.
It keeps showing up in the corner, and you're like, "Wait a minute, what's that coat doing there?"
Yeah. It's horny coat. There's horny coat again, which also another great name for this episode. Horny coat.
Horny coat.
Putting on my horny coat. So, in preparation to record this episode, since it's been a couple weeks since I've recorded with Craig. By the way, guys, it's pretty clear, I think, that Aaron Yanda has joined me because Craig is not available this week, and I just didn't want to miss a week. And I'm sure that Craig would be very happy to have you step in as my guest co-host.
Well, I am no Craig Benzine. I will not be able to live up to his level that he provides with this podcast.
Maybe you'll exceed it. I mean, already I feel like you're exceeding it.
I'm a pale substitute.
I feel like this is so much better than it usually is.
All right. Well,
this is great.
I
don't miss Craig at all.
It's not true. You're hurt. I can tell. I can hear the hurt in your voice. You miss Craig.
I do miss him, and this. I'll be honest with you. This does suck a lot, but we're making the best of it, aren't we, Aaron?
Yeah, we'll do our best. But you can't replace Craig Benzine.
No, you really can't. I want to start off by doing a shout out. Sorry, I'm just covering up something. I didn't mean to cover up your thing with the
You
things
just
that I
put
have
the
on
word trash in front of my face briefly. Greg.
Yeah, just
what gives?
Trash. I can throw away that email. No, I got a comment. In fact, I'll just show it. I'll show it over here right in front of your face. Megan apparently commented on my post on Patreon. I'll just show it right here. Megan commented, said, "Thanks for the shout out, Greg." So I just like to give a shout out to Megan for thanking me for the shout out. That was
Wait, I'm lost. Did you shout her out?
apparently I think I shouted her out on the last episode, and then she said thanks for the shout out, and so that made me give her another shout out on this. Listen, it's very complicated. I don't understand.
This is going to be an endless cycle. Do you realize what you've created now?
Oh my God! You mean she could just leave another comment, and then on the next episode I could just every time we do the Megan section becomes longer and longer until it's the whole podcast.
Thank you for the last shout out and the one before that, and also the two before that.
So next time it's just going to be me talking to Megan. And it'll go on longer and longer. And finally, all 45 minutes are just me talking to Megan.
Yeah, that's going to be it. Mm-hmm.
You're welcome, Megan. I'm just so glad. And thank you for being there for us, for me and my co-host Aaron Yonda, my co-host of Two Guys Talking About Lettuce.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. What are you drinking there? Is that coffee, or are you having some nice tea this morning?
No, C for coffee.
Oh, C for coffee. I thought it was your nickname. I was like, oh, here's my cunt cup.
Well, that's a word that starts with C.
It certainly does. Starts with it and ends with it. If you're a bad speller.
Kunk. This is a mug from Anthropology.
Oh my gosh! Wow. So you probably paid like $15 for one mug.
No, it was on sale.
Was it?
Yeah, I got a bunch of them. They were all reduced.
Oh man, you're reduced.
Got a bunch of letters.
Maybe you're reduced.
I have been reduced.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. With a nice balsamic reduction.
Balsamic.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of the last episode, so one thing that I like to do sometimes before recording an episode is I'll go walk in the neighborhood because I like to walk. I use my legs. I move them. Sometimes I'll put the left one forward, then the right one, and then it goes back and forth, back and forth.
How do you choose?
You know what? Random. I start usually random. I don't usually start with the same one. So I'm like, let's just see. I'm gonna start moving forward. Let's see what happens. Oh, right one this time. Start with the right one.
Have you tried twice in a row with the same leg?
No, but next time I'll try that.
Let me know how that goes.
I'll try that. I look forward to that. So I'm walking around today in the neighborhood, and I'm listening to the latest episode that just came out this past week, which I must say, not a bad episode. Leaf blower trauma, which is funny because as I'm walking through the neighborhood, there are literally people out there with their leaf blowers cleaning the lawns, and there's leaf blower sounds in the episode and in real life. Very confusing. Anyway, one of the things that I talked about on the latest episode was the fact that I had gone into Trader Joe's and I needed to poop while shopping, so I pooped in Trader Joe's. And you'll never guess what happened this morning, Aaron Yonda.
Trader Joe's pooped in your house?
No, you're close.
They brought the poop back to you.
You're very. Often they do that. They'll drop it in the mail and go, "Hey, you left this in our store." No. I went to Trader Joe's again after dropping my son off at school. I don't know if you know I have a son. He goes to school.
Yes.
You should meet him sometime. He's very nice. And at this point, Craig would be like, "I've met your son many times." Which is what you're supposed to do, but it's okay.
I'm supposed to say that? I've met your son many times, Craig. Greg, why would you say that?
Let's try it again. Let's try that. By the way, I don't know if you know this. I have a son. He's in school. Very nice. You should meet him sometime.
I've met him many times, Greg.
Now I just feel like this is rehearsed, and I just don't feel it's working. You know? When Craig does it, it's fresh.
It's natural.
Yeah, and when you do it, it just seems rehearsed.
Yeah. All right. So I got to call you out when you say bullshit.
Yeah, I guess. You don't have to. That's what Craig does. Or you could just do your Aaron Yonda thing. What's in your coffee? What'd you put in your coffee? I'll tell the Trader Joe's story in a minute. But what's in your coffee?
Cream and sugar.
Cream and sugar?
Just a little tiny bit. I don't like much
Much cream or much sugar?
either.
Yeah, just a little bit of cream, a little bit of sugar.
Hinge.
Yeah? And maybe
Yeah.
one of these days you're going to be one of those guys who just drinks his coffee black and you're just slowly working your way there.
Yeah, that's exactly right. I used to put a little bit more, and I feel like give me another decade, and it'll be no more nothing.
And you just be a black coffee kind of guy. And then you'll just be an empty cup kind of guy. You'll just give up the coffee part also.
Yep.
Or maybe just the coffee beans but not the water. You're like no water, and then you're just crunching on the beans. A lot of people do that.
And then eventually, I'll just give up on the beans, and I'll just lick the glass that the beans come in.
Yeah, absolutely. A lot of people
Every
do that.
morning?
I've seen people in the store doing that. I'm like, you really should pay for that before you. And they're like, I want to try all the bean glass before I choose which beans to buy.
Bean glass. Now that's
So-
a coffee.
so,
coffee store.
so
what
who-
happened?
Bean glass. You know who sells coffee beans is Trader Joe's, which brings me back to the Trader Joe's story.
Yeah.
So I'm in Trader Joe's today. I'm doing some shopping, and I realize, hey, you know what I need to do again? I need to poop in Trader Joe's. And I think Trader Joe's might slowly be becoming my favorite place to poop.
Really?
Yeah.
What advantages does it provide for a frequent pooper like you?
Well, I don't use up my own toilet paper at home. I don't stink up my own bathroom. And I can do it as it's a nice little break from shopping. Just pull the cart over to the side, leave it right there in a horrible place to blocks people right in front of the milk or the bread or whatever, and then just go in there and get it all out, And I know a lot of people love poop talk, so that's why I'm bringing this back up again, just so we can have more poop talk. Everybody's like, when's Greg going to do more poop talk? You know what I'm saying?
They're always in the back of their mind. They're just like, man, it's not enough poop talk in this.
we need more
episode.
poop talk. Give me more poop
Wish
talk.
just isn't the same as it used to be.
Yeah.
But now this will be hailed as the best episode ever because of all the poop talk. Aren't you worried about the grossness of it?
The grossness of the bathroom? Trader Joe's keeps very clean bathrooms.
Yeah, but like this toilet seat, like somebody might have used that.
Yeah, well, that's why I don't lick it. I sit on it. And actually, I put down there's a piece of very thin paper you can put down on top of it.
Oh yeah.
And it's got like a hole in it that's shaped like someone's head, like someone just smashed their head into it and left the outline of their head. And I always like to thank that person. I always like to pretend that it's God that used his own head. So God basically put the outline of his head. That's God's head right there. I don't want to get religious, but I'm just telling that's what I like to imagine.
God
Are
poked
you
his head through some thin paper?
Are you a public pooper? Are you poop shy? Or are you a public pooper?
No, I don't like to. I don't like to use public restrooms.
How about just to pee? Do you pee in public restrooms?
Yes, definitely.
Yeah, but you don't like it.
No.
Are you a
Nope.
shy
I
peer,
like
or can you just go to like a baseball stadium or whatever, and then and you'll have like 30 guys standing right next to you and peeing into an open trough, and you're just like, all right, I'm just going to pee in here now.
I don't love that. I would prefer to just, be on my own. But, if there's a baseball dude standing next to me and we're peeing, it's like, yeah, cool, we're peeing. This is
Yeah,
great.
yeah. You're like, all right, man. Hey, you're peeing too. Hey, well, you like baseball? He's like, yeah, I like baseball. You like baseball? And you're like, yeah.
That's cool.
And then you
Nice.
exchange numbers, you bump phones, and the numbers transfer. However it works, I don't really know.
Yep. And then you get pee all over the place
You
because
pee
you're
on the phone.
shaking around too much while you're bumping. And
Shaking your phone off, get all the pee off.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's messy. But, you got to bond with your baseball brothers.
No, absolutely. No, listen, I've been to baseball games before, I remember. I'm a shy peer. If I go into a restroom and they don't have like dividers, those little tiny divider walls in between the urinals, if it's just open and there's a guy that's going to stand right next to me, I won't be able to pee. I just won't be able to do it.
It just won't come out, huh?
Yeah, my body will just say, I'm not interested. I know you really need to go. Not really interested in doing this right now. So then I got to go over to a stall.
I have a moment like that sometimes, and then I'm just like, okay, deep breaths.
Yeah.
I'm just peeing. It's not a big deal, and then it happens. So you just have to.
It's weird.
You have to you have to coach yourself.
Yeah.
got to coach your urinary tract.
Yeah, build up to it, if you will. Yeah, yeah.
You have to go into a stall. You can't pee next to someone else.
Yeah, like if it's open and there's literally someone standing right next to me and they're like, "Hey, you like baseball?" I'm like, "No, I can't do this." You know? And we're not even at a baseball game. Like, what? It'd be like at a concert, or at a gas station, and this guy peeing next to me. Like, and in gas stations, they're just single-person toilets. I go in there, I'm standing there, all of a sudden a guy bursts open the door that I've locked, and he starts to pee into the toilet that I'm standing right in front of. And he's like, "Come on, man, let's cross the streams." And I'm like, "I don't want to cross the streams with you, buddy." He's like, "You like baseball?"
What if there's okay, so is it easier for you if there's someone standing directly behind you and they have their arms wrapped around you?
Oh my God, no. If someone's standing behind me and I know that they're waiting to use the urinal and like they're waiting for me to either start or finish peeing, that's too much
then
pressure.
You definitely couldn't do it.
Yeah,
okay, what if it's somebody you know who's standing either behind you or next to you?
That's easier. I worried before Charlie was born. I'm like, well, I mean, you got to have your kid with you in the bathroom. Am I going to be able to pee with him right there? Turns out I can. Turns out like I love him so much. I'm comfortable around him. It's not a problem whatsoever. And we will cross the streams.
Okay.
We actually do cross the streams.
It's just strangers, a little, social anxiety kind of thing.
Yeah, I think that's what it is. And sometimes even if I go into a stall, if I know people are waiting, there's a little pressure. Then I have to do my secret trick, which I believe I've mentioned on this podcast before. I just think about Sylvester Stallone doing dumb things. Like he's like chewing on, puts like 3 or 4 pieces of bubble gum in his mouth and he blows like a huge bubble, but then it bursts and it gets stuck in his hair. And he's like, "Oh, I got chewing gum in my hair." And then he has to like start to get it out, but then it's stuck on his finger. Now my fingers are sticky. Like when I'm that far into the improvised scene with Sylvester Stallone, the pee just flows.
So that's, you're coaching yourself basically.
I mean, I guess that's what it is. It's a special trick, and I recommend that to anybody who has trouble peeing.
There are tricks for just about everything. If you have a problem in your life, there's usually a trick that you trick your own brain into letting you do what you need to do.
It's like a brain hack. People talk about hacks. It's like a brain hack. What's another brain hack that you do to trick yourself in your life, make your life better?
Well, one of the things that I find that's worked the best for me is if I'm like, okay, I really shouldn't do this. Like I shouldn't eat this much food, or I shouldn't do whatever it is. I don't say to myself, I'm not going to do that. I just said, I don't even consider it an option. I don't even think about it. I don't even think about it as something that can actually happen. In my head, I'm just like, there's going to be dessert tonight, but I can't do that. Oh, well, it's already been decided. There's never a decision-making process. Therefore, I cannot fail.
Wow.
Most of the time.
Yeah. It's interesting. It's kind of similar to what some people, it's kind of similar to what some people say about when you're dieting or you're trying to like avoid sugar or whatever. Instead of like when you go out, instead of saying, "Oh no, I can't have desserts," people say, "No, I don't eat desserts."
Right.
And
it's already been decided for you.
Yeah,
you aren't a part of the process.
Yeah. It's more, and then all of a sudden they put a dessert in front of you and you're like, "No, I don't eat desserts." And then you take your fork and you put it in the pie and then you put the pie in your mouth and you're like, "Oh shit, I was wrong. I do eat desserts." Yeah, I can do this just fine. I thought I didn't do this.
Well, either that or you say, "Nope, I'm not eating dessert." Delicious though.
Yeah. So we just had Thanksgiving this past week, and I want to hear all about your Thanksgiving. But I will say this: that Thanksgiving and Christmas, those are the times when I'm just like, you know what? I've been dieting. I got myself down. I got myself down to like 178 pounds. I'd like to be in the 170s if I can, because I'm an on-camera actor. Got to be thin, just for that. If I wasn't an actor, I don't think I'd worry about it that much. But anyway, this past week is when I let myself eat as much of that Costco apple pie as I wanted, and ate so much stuff, all the fattening things, the turkey and the stuffing and all the things, and I gained about 4.5 pounds in a week. Is that bad to gain 4.5 pounds in a week?
It's impressive. I don't know if it's bad.
I mean, I think it might be bad Because I don't know if I can lose 4.5 pounds in a week.
No, not safely.
No. I mean, that's at the beginning, you do lose that water weight. So it is possible that I might be able to get down, like, say, 3 to 4 pounds.
Yeah, but water weight's not really real weight.
Yeah. That's what I said when I saw that movie. I'm like, Kevin Costner's great with his gills and everything, but I don't really see the big deal about water weight.
That's not a movie, Greg. I'm doing the Craig Benzine.
Oh, you
thing.
really are. No, it is.
Yeah,
I saw it in the
not
theater.
really
I saw it. It's a movie. Kevin Costner, Jason Alexander from Seinfeld, who was not in the movie, but this actually is true. When I saw the movie Waterworld here in Los Angeles, California, in the theater, I don't know why I went to see Waterworld in the theater, but I did. I sat 2 seats away from Jason Alexander and struck up a conversation with him and his lovely wife or girlfriend
Nice.
or daughter or whatever she was, granddaughter, cousin, aunt. Maybe it was a niece.
I remember seeing that movie in the theater too. There was a lot of build up to it. There was, the thing is, there wasn't any other movie like that. I don't think.
And it
Especially
had
at the time.
and the shooting of it was plagued with disaster, and you just kind of wanted to see like
Yeah.
what's this set that just the whole thing was destroyed in a monsoon or whatever happened, or Kevin Costner sneezed and it fell down. I forget exactly what happened, but it was one of those two things.
But yeah, all I remember is that he filters his own pee and then drinks it. That's the only thing I remember that happens in that movie. I think it happens right in the beginning too.
And you know what? I mean, it happens in Better Call Saul also, but without the filter.
Oh, right.
Yeah, don't mean to ruin that for you guys, but no filter in Better Call Saul. That show is filter free.
Straight pee drinking.
You want to see a man drink his own pee? Watch Better Call Saul, which, by the way, is such a great show.
Now, do you have a problem drinking pee when you're around strangers, or can you do it no problem?
I get a little pee drink shy when they're strangers strangers or strangers or strangers, either one. When there are a bunch of strangers that are standing in line behind me and everybody's waiting to drink
Strangers,
some
by
pee.
the way, in case anyone doesn't know, strangers are people who they go like this, like they're going to strangle you, but then they stop.
They stop. Yeah, strangers. Yeah, they're not stranglers because those
Right.
people actually do strangle you.
They stop short.
And let me tell you something about stranglers. I do not like those people. Not a fan of those. Oh my gosh, now it's time to start the Patreon-only bonus section exclusive for our Patreon peeps.
Ooh.
And it starts right now.
This portion of Two Guys Talking About Lettuce has been edited out for your listening inconvenience. If you wish to hear the complete, unedited version with the bonus talking, be sure to visit patreon.com/Two Guys Talking About Lettuce. And now, back to the edited, not as good version of the podcast.
And that's the end of the Patreon-only bonus section. Now we're back with you guys, you wonderful, wonderful listeners who are my favorite people, and no one
Best listeners in the world.
No one could ever convince us otherwise.
No way. There's no way we would ever badmouth any of you.
You are the best, and we appreciate you
Amazing.
all. Here's the deal. We were talking a little bit in the Patreon-only bonus section about how people are easily fooled now with all the photoshopping and the AI videos and audio, and like people can put up a video of just like President Biden saying something he never said, or people can edit things creatively and they can Photoshop stuff and like, here's such and such doing a thing. And I got to tell you something. I feel like that will be the downfall of society.
Yeah. Creating things that feel true, but aren't.
And then because people, when they see a thing, like we're so used to like living our lives where if you see a thing, you're like, oh, I saw it. There's a thing. That's a true thing because I saw it. But now you can't do that anymore. You literally can't believe anything anymore.
No, but a lot of people will just never be critical about any of it. I mean, I think at heart, humans are naturally optimistic and just want to believe the best things are happening all the time, even when they aren't. And so it's a challenge to overcome human nature.
I
It's
think
only
that's-
going to get weirder because, you know, pretty soon it'll be super easy just to create any sort of video at all with anyone. And then maybe at that point, people will be like, well, you can't believe anything you're looking at anymore.
Yeah,
Maybe.
yeah. I saw that today actually on Twitter. I don't know if you ever go to Twitter. It's called Twitter. It's got that great blue logo with the bird. I love it. It's very cute and positive. It's a really fun place to go. Nothing's changed. It's wonderful, and I love it. So Kathy Griffin tweeted, "We're doomed," when retweeting apparently a completely generated AI singer, a woman who does not exist, a young woman does not exist, looks like about 11 years old or whatever, and it's with a song that was completely made up and generated by AI, start to finish, music, lyrics, instrumentation, her voice, the way she looks, everything, and it's just like, well, they just programmed AI to like make a pop song with a person who doesn't exist. And by the way, it's horrible. But the fact that they can already do that, I mean, I think most popular music is horrible anyway. So the fact that they can already do that, I just wonder what's going to happen when people want to go and see AI Lady live. Like, oh, I could go to that concert. Well, you're just going to go there and there's going to be a screen or a hologram.
Yeah, there'll be a hologram, or you can, you know, put on the special glasses or something and it'll look real. Or, you know, I'm sure there's going to be, well, I mean, there are holograms that they can just project that look pretty much real. So didn't they do that with ABBA? I thought ABBA kind of got back together as their younger selves and projected themselves out to the world.
Yeah. They were like avatars. They were like avatars, I think is what they called them.
Avatars. That makes sense.
And people went to an ABBA concert where ABBA did not appear, which I think is weird. So, I mean, if they can do it, then I mean that's pretty smart marketing. Like, hey, let's do a concert, but let's not do any of the boring shit. Let's not travel around. Let's not do any of that. Let's not go stay in hotels.
Well, and ABBA's whole thing, I think, was that they didn't really want people to see them now. They just want them to think of them as the young, you know, popular ABBA that they used to be. Because they, you know, I think a lot of actors do this, don't they? They sort of, they disappear after a certain time because they're like, okay, I'm just going to leave everybody with that image of me. Because you get to a certain age, maybe not everybody is going to feel like this, but you get to a certain age and you're just like, okay, now I'm just going to disappear, and then everyone will think of me as looking like this until they hear that I've died, and they'll suddenly be like, oh my god, they got so old, how did that happen? But you know, it's like, it's crazy though. I can't help it. I perceive things like this all the time. I see somebody after I haven't seen them for 10-20 years, like somebody from the cast of Friends or whatever, and I'm like, oh, they got old. What?
Why do people get older in life? I mean, it's the same sort of thing when you go to a like a high school reunion. I don't know if you go to your own high school reunions, but I've gone to my 10, 20, and my 30, and coming up in a couple years is my 40, which is crazy.
Oh,
40-year reunion, and I always go there like expecting to see my friends from high school. And there are a bunch of old people there. Like, who are all these old folks?
Yeah,
walking around with their gray hair and their pot bellies. And all their money. Yeah, like you didn't have all that money in high school. Now you own a landscaping business? It's crazy. And that's the thing. Everyone I went to high school with, they now all own landscaping businesses. There's one lawyer, and the rest of them own landscaping businesses.
They're all landscapers?
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, I went to Landscape High, you know. It's a lot of fun, you know. I took a lot of landscaping classes, but they didn't take. It didn't really stick with me.
Yeah, how come you're not a landscaper?
I don't know, man. It's just never one of the jobs that I've had. That's another thing we talked about on the previous episode. We talked about what were your early jobs. What were your early jobs, Urban Yerbin?
Well, let's see. I worked at a grocery store that was awful. And
What'd you do there? Did you bag groceries?
I did a little bagging. I did some stocking. I had to clean up poop once. And,
what? I'm sorry. Tell me the poop story. We can't just go right past the poop story.
Yeah, this is a classic thing that happens at all places, public places. Somebody just shit next to the toilet instead of in it, and I was required to go clean it up. And I was like, wow, this sucks. And then I quit. So
no,
pretty much.
Why? First of all, by the way, You need to quit before you clean up the shit.
Yeah, I should have done it in a different order, but
Yeah.
unfortunately, I was just a 16-year-old dumbass. Actually, I had jobs before I was 16. I did paper routes,
Yeah.
sometimes more than one, and one of them I got up and did before I went to school. So I got up at like 4 a.m. and delivered all the papers.
That's
and then
too
went
early.
To school. I
That
know,
is
it was
too
crazy.
early.
I
And
don't
by
know
the
what's
way,
wrong.
the thing that I hated about my paper route was having to clean up all the shit that was
Right.
next to the toilet, because
Yeah.
you'd go and you're like, well, I got to clean that shit up,
Yep.
you know.
And you're like, they shouldn't require you to deliver their paper to the bathroom.
that's the weirdest part. I never really just understood that. Let
Yeah.
this be a cautionary tale and a lesson for all of you 16-year-old dumbasses listening to this podcast. When you have a job and they say, I need you to go clean up the shit next to the toilet, instead of saying, okay, and going to do it, you say, hey, how about this? I quit. Go fuck yourself.
Unless that was a part of your job parameters when they hired you. But if they didn't tell you, like, you probably have to clean up some shit, then you shouldn't do it.
Yeah, no, I don't think that's part of a job unless you're a janitor. Janitors do clean up some shit.
Yeah. Yeah. I never had to clean up shit when I worked at KFC, even though it was a horrible job.
Yeah, but if you had to clean up a lot of their food, that's kind of the same thing as cleaning up
close.
shit. I mean, KFC used to be good. Now it's pretty goddamn horrible, I think.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's awful. The barbecue sauce that they had back in those days was like, I don't know what was wrong with it. It was kind of toxic. I put my face over the top of it once while I was cooking, and I just about like died. I started tearing up, and I couldn't breathe. And it was like, it was toxic. It was really horrific.
I don't think it's supposed to be like that.
No, I don't
Maybe
think
they
so.
were maybe they were cooking out all the arsenic. They had to you had to get it to bubble at a certain level, and then all the arsenic just sort of evaporates.
And the mercury. Yeah.
Yeah, and all the mercury. I'm
So
just
what
getting
was
the
your-
mercury out of it.
What was your worst early job?
I talked about this on the last podcast, so I won't talk about my job at Bill's Records. You'd think a record store would be a good place to work. Turns out it wasn't. Listen to the last podcast if you want to hear it. But I don't know if I told the story about. Maybe I have. I forget what I talked about on this podcast. We've done like 77 episodes now. When I was 16, I tore tickets at a movie theater. In fact, they were movie tickets. So I would tear tickets, and I didn't work the box office, worked at the front, and then I also worked behind the concession stand selling popcorn, and they'd give you all the popcorn and the orange soda that you want. And by the way, my apologies, folks, if you've already heard this story, but one night, this is the best night I ever had at work. I'm working there with Todd. Remember Todd?
Mm-hmm. Who doesn't?
I'm working there so Todd and I are working there. And by the way, shout out to Todd. If you ever listen to this podcast, hope you're enjoying this nice free shout out that you get. Todd, the guy I worked with at a movie theater when I was 16 in Dallas, Texas. 40 years ago. So, almost. So Todd and I are working concession stand, and this really cute girl comes in, and she's on a date with a guy, and she's so not into him. And I can tell because I'm flirting with her, and she's flirting back at me, and the guy is getting a little pissed off. But you could tell that he was just a douchey guy. So they go into their movie after I flirted with her, and it was really just innocent flirting. They go into their movie. 5 minutes later, she comes back out and comes back over to the concession stand. She didn't want to buy anything else. She just wanted to talk with me some more. And I flirted with her, and I was like, what's going on? She was like, I'm on this date with this guy, and I just really don't like him. And I'm like, well, I'm getting off in like half an hour. Want to get out of here with me? We'll go do something fun. She's like, yeah, I'd really like this. This actually happened to me. This is like one of the best nights. Really cute girl. And so my manager's like in the office with the door closed, and I say to Todd, Todd, if I get out of here early, will we just go ahead and finish up? Is that cool? He's like, fine by me. I mean, the manager was not happy that I did it, but I just clocked out and left. So I could take this girl to go and play mini golf. We stopped by my house, and then we went over to play mini golf. And had a really great date. But then when I got her home at the end of the night, 2 hours later, Then we realized that she should have called her parents, because as soon as she disappeared from the movie theater without telling her date she was leaving, he frantically called the parents. It's like, she's gone. I don't know where she is. And of course, they were freaking out, and they were standing on their front lawn waiting for me to drive up. And so I drove up, with her, and she's like, "Oh no." I was like, "Oh, it's okay. I'll talk to him." She was like, No, just drop me off and drive away. Just drop me off and go. I'm like, "Really?" She says, No, trust me. Just drop me off and go. So I did, and then apparently they instructed her that she's never to see me again because I couldn't get a second date out of her. We had the best time, and she was like, "No, my parents said I couldn't go out with you again."
Wow.
I'm like, "Well, that's too bad because they don't understand. I'm actually the nice guy." Anyway, that's
Damn,
that story.
She missed out. She regrets it to this day, I bet. She still thinks of the one that got away.
I'm the one that got away, and you know what? And she's the one that got away also. And because I didn't have I didn't have her phone number or anything because I was planning on getting that at the end of the night. But I knew that she also worked at a movie theater, and I knew which movie theater. So one day, after a few days, I went to the movie theater to go and ask her out again, and that's where I talked to her. And she was up at the front, tearing tickets, just like I do.
Whoa.
Yeah. But there was no love that second time.
Oh, so she wasn't the one that got away.
Well, I mean, she did get away, but I think she got in a lot of trouble for just leaving.
Doing something spontaneous.
And honestly, I should have just ignored her, just drop me off and drive away, because that made me look like a bad guy. I could have just stayed and explained myself and apologized that we didn't think to call them. But
Totally.
listen, what do you know? What are you gonna do? What's your biggest mistake in life? What's the thing that you regret?
The thing?
Yeah,
Well,
there's got to be the
gosh,
thing.
I don't know how you knew there was only one thing.
There's only one thing. That was my
Just the
thing.
one thing, huh? Boy, I can't think of anything. I don't regret. I don't regret any of it.
You don't have
I
any
love it.
regrets?
I love all of it. I love
Really?
all the mistakes I made, because if I didn't make them, then who would I be?
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's true, but like, you don't even regret like that one night when you went to the pub with your friends and you had too many cheese fries, and you're like, oh, my stomach hurts. I ate all those cheese fries. You don't regret that?
Yeah, right. There is this one night that I regret trying to smash my head through a bank window. That was a mistake.
Oh, I'm sorry. Wait. Oh, okay. There's a story here. You tried to smash your head through a bank window?
That was not a smart night. Yeah, I was at a bar with my friends, and like I was not having very good luck like chatting with ladies, and I think they were scared of me or something. And so we left the bar, and because I was really, really drunk and I shouldn't have been talking to anyone probably. And then we walked past this bank that had these tall windows, and I was like, I don't remember my thought process at that point. I had no thought process.
Yeah.
There wasn't any thoughts.
No, you were so full of cheese fries you couldn't control yourself.
Slammed my shoulder and my head into the bank window a couple times until my friend was like, "What the fuck are you doing?" And then he headbutted me.
He headbutted you.
He headbutted me to stop me from potentially breaking through the bank window. It was a strong window. I don't think I was going to break it, even though it kind of rippled when I hit it. That was disturbing.
So what does that mean? He puts his butt on your head, or he puts your head on his
butt would have been great because that wouldn't have hurt. But instead, he headbutted me and like missed and hit the bridge of my nose, and I
Ouch.
started bleeding.
Oh my God! Did he break your nose?
No, he didn't break it. He just barely avoided like the actual breakable part. He hit like right up above it.
This is an amazing story, Aaron.
Yeah, and then
God,
if I remember
Craig never had
correctly,
stories like this.
we were unhappy for a few blocks, and then we started like talking to someone on the third floor of a house. A woman, one of my other friends, was talking to a woman on the third floor of a random house down the street from where we were going, and then I escaped my friends who were trying to stop me from doing something stupid, and I walked into the front door of a house. Not my house, just a random house down the street, and the door was open, so I was like, I'll just go in.
I'll just go in there. I mean, they probably left food on the table, and they're like, anybody who wants some, come on in. And you went in. Sure enough, there was a plate ready made for you.
But then I heard somebody coming down the stairs, and I was like, I should probably leave this house now. And so I left the house.
Oh, you never met the person who's coming down the stairs.
Oh no, nope.
You know what? Here's the thing, and I hate to like make you regret your decisions, but it might have been that girl from the movie theater who was so cute.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And she might have been coming down, and you might have it might have been a love connection.
it's the one that got away for me.
Yeah,
Definitely.
yeah. That person coming down the stairs, that's your one who got away.
Yeah. That was the one.
Man, these are good stories. Craig never has stories this good.
I have more stories like this, but there's too many.
Well, we're just going to have to save it for the next time that Craig can't record an episode, and I need for you to step in his place. I mean, this is only the second episode that Craig did not appear in. The other one, it was Joyce DeWitt was my guest.
Oh, wow. That's cool.
Yeah, and she's terrific. She had a great time until
awesome.
until I realized that she wasn't actually Joyce DeWitt, and I was very offended and let down by the whole thing. And really, now that I think about it, it was a horrible, horrible situation.
God. Was a Joyce DeWitt impersonator? Or
I mean, I guess so. I mean, they're very common. Very common nowadays.
In Hollywood, yeah.
Yeah. Aaron Yonda, Craig Benzine comes to visit me regularly in LA. You used to come visit regularly, and I would visit you regularly. But you used to be out here every summer, so we'd have some time to hang out, float in the pool together, have conversations. We'll talk to each other with words. Remember that?
I do. I flew out for your birthday once.
You sure did. You surprised the hell out of me. It was when I was turning 50, and Kim wanted to surprise me, so she had you and a couple other friends fly out to surprise me, along with a bunch of people here in LA, and it was a truly fun, amazing weekend. I still can't believe that she did that.
That was fun.
For her 50th birthday, I just got her a card. Anyway,
she was surprised, I bet.
She was. She was like, "Oh, I'm surprised. That's all you did." I'm like, "Yeah, but open it." And inside the card, I just wrote, "Love, Greg." But I spelled my name wrong. I spelled it with a C. Anyway, we won't get into that. She's better at gift giving than I am. Yeah, Craig, not Craig, but Craig. So here's the deal. I'm wondering, when are you going to come out and visit me again?
The thing is, when COVID started, and I just haven't been in a plane since COVID started. I've just been kind of like, I don't need to go anywhere anymore. That's all done. That's all done with.
It's literally that you're not going to get in a plane anymore.
I got no business out in Los Angeles. I used to come out there for E3 sometimes, but now E3 is gone because of COVID or whatever the reason is. But that doesn't even happen anymore.
Yeah, they just upgraded. It's E4 now.
Yeah, I don't got no business out there anymore.
Maybe visiting me is your business.
That should be my business.
Yeah.
Next year, I should probably come out there and make it my business.
I don't know if you know this. A lot of people do still fly in airplanes.
I've heard that, but I'm not sure I believe it. I don't really see evidence.
They have a thing that you can wear on your face. It's called a mask. Keeps the germs from coming in.
Well, I don't care about that particularly. I just haven't,
Yeah, you just don't feel like it. Okay.
I haven't wanted to. Yeah.
All right. I'm with you.
I got out of the habit,
Yeah, I'm with you.
Weird.
Honestly, traveling is not as fun as it used to be. It used to be fun.
Yeah.
Now, honestly, just not quite as fun.
I like walking.
Well, then you should walk from Madison, Wisconsin to Los Angeles. Come visit me. It'd be great.
I'd consider that. I'd like to do a really long walking tour sometime.
But I know that I need to come visit you also, for one thing, because I haven't been on a beer and board games episode since 2020 when you were doing lockdown episodes over Zoom.
Yeah.
And that's too long because we're almost at 2024.
We need to do next year, like 2024. Let's do like a Greg Aaron exchange student thing.
All right. So I go to Madison, and at the same time you come to LA, and then we get on Zoom with each other, and we're like, wait a minute, why did we do this?
But it'll be fun now, because then I'll be able to, enjoy your pinball machine.
I got it right there. There it is.
Yep.
You will be able to enjoy it. You'll be able to see Charlie next year. I mean, in January, that kid turns 8 years old. I remember when you came over and you would hold him. He's just like tiny little baby. And you'd be like, "What's up, baby?" And he'd be like, "Yo, sup?" Because he's such a cool baby.
Does he still walk into the room with the hat on and say, "Hat," and then leave? That was gold.
I love that you remember that. And I remember that too. He put on a hat, walked in the room and said, "Hat!" Oh, and then left. I'm like, yep.
It was amazing.
That's right, buddy.
If we could at least reenact that, even though he's a little older now, I'd still like to.
He does still do it. Yeah,
it's a good bit.
He does still do it. He does all the things he used to do. That kid's never going to change. He does all the things. No, I know that he would love to see you because he misses you. Or at least he.
Well, you should also, somebody I don't see much of, despite the fact that I'm in Madison with him, is Craig Benzine. So the next time Craig is coming out to visit you, you should let me know, and I'll make sure that I come out too, so I can see Craig.
You actually see him when literally you live 10 minutes from each other, probably.
Yeah, I live 10 minutes. I saw him running down the sidewalk once.
Hey, by the way, I don't know if you can talk about this publicly, but have you moved yet?
No.
When are you planning on moving?
Oh boy, I don't know. The sooner the better. But yeah, we haven't figured that out yet.
Sounds like there's a story here. We'll talk about this after we're done recording. And speaking of being done recording, thank you so much for listening to Two Guys Talking About Lettuce. I'd like to thank my special guest co-host, Aaron Yanda.
Hey, thanks for having me, Greg. And I love you.
I love you too, Aaron, and I love all of you wonderful listeners, especially that one guy with the red pants. Bye-bye, everybody.
Good night.
Was that creepy? I didn't mean to be creepy.